Hi everyone, Nicole here.
Deinzer, hello.
So a couple weeks ago, before the craziness of the holidays, we did a quick hello, talked a little bit about content creation, and now we are going to dive in a little bit more about content creation. And hi everyone over there. So we're on my laptop and her cell phone. So hello. So a little bit about myself, as you guys may know, I am the founder and editor-in-chief of Epifania. It's an online magazine. I also do social media and digital consulting for small businesses, and before that I did social media community engagement for numerous nonprofits for about 5 years. So I love it. I love planning ahead with your content and planning ahead with your social media strategy.
Hi, and I'm Deinzer. I'm the owner and founder of Hoffa Holistic Integrative Wellness, and I flex my Oprah muscles as a serial entrepreneur, and I'm also the owner and founder of Healing Space Solutions to help create and enliven social media and digital marketing for wellness professionals and holistic brands. So I'm very excited to share information from my personal experience, and we have Nicole, who's also an MBA as of a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I am really excited about that. I don't know if I should put that in like my signature now. I'm
yeah, that makes you a superstar.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right, so if I tend to look over on this side, it's because I'm looking at my notes, but I promise I'll keep being with you guys and being with you. So a little bit about content creation. We're going to break it down to different steps. So step one, with everything else in life, is to plan ahead. So when you're looking at your calendar, you really want to think about holidays. So if there's holidays that are really important for your demographic, if there's what you want to do around those holidays. Events, so either national events or events you're hosting or local events. Do you want to be a part of that conversation? You also want to think about personal bandwidth, how much you can actually do, the topics you want to write about, photos, do you have photos, do you need to take photos, where are you going to get the photos, and your actual own skill set.
So we do have Valentine's Day coming up, which is great for wellness professionals. If you have a special deal that you want to do, whether you're a spa or a yoga studio doing like couples specials, this is a good time to get that together.
I love those specials. That's a good tip. Those are wonderful specials. Get a massage. I love it. You know, with my hubby. Okay. So step two, continue to plan ahead, but now more towards the editorial side. So you want to think about the topics you're going to write about, but who will write it? Is it just going to be you? Is it going to be some other people? Who will edit it? How long does it take? So when you're finished with an article, how long is it going to take for it to be edited? How long do you want it to take? And when are you going to post it? And how often do you want to post? You know, you want to be realistic. You don't want to, say, I'm going to post every day. And then, 2 weeks down the line, you're not posting every day, right? So a couple examples is, let's say you run a yoga studio and you teach classes Monday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. So when should you write? What should you write about? My first couple of tips would be, you shouldn't write on Monday and Wednesday. You need to prepare for your class. You don't want to overwhelm yourself. You might meet some students beforehand, something might come up. Let's block those days off from writing. Topics you can write about would be yoga moves, fitness tips, interviews. You can interview students. You can interview other yoga instructors, other fitness instructors. These are all topics you can write about.
Might I add too, I have the practice of interviewing my students, and they have, in my newsletter, they get a feature for Yoga Student of the Month. So I just ask them after class, hi, what do you like about my class, and what do you get out of it? Why do you come every week? And it's just 3 little simple questions, and then they answer them. I take a picture of them with my smartphone, and it ends up in my newsletter. Yeah. So it ends up being good promotion in a pretty easy way.
Yeah, and a lot of times if you are running a studio or anything like that, you do have students want to help you out if they really enjoy their class, and it's also their time to shine. How often do we get asked questions and hear our voice heard? So it's our little 15 minutes of fame. Now, another example, and I think this relates a lot to a lot of my friends, is you work a 9-to-5 job and you're starting a photography business and you are thinking of posting your photos on a blog. So you might be thinking, when should you post? When should you take photos? So pick one day, I would suggest you pick one day during the week, either Monday or Wednesday, to post photos. Don't save it for the weekend. A lot of times people, when they have a 9-to-5 job and then they have their passion project, they're like, I'm gonna just do it on the weekends, right? No, come the weekend, you're so tired from your 9-to-5 job, you're just trying to recoup, and then also you have like gatherings with friends, family, you have life. So then, a month down the line, you're beating yourself up because you haven't done any work to it. So pick at least one day during the week. Monday or Wednesday tends to be pretty like dead days. I don't suggest Thursday because if you live in an urban area like the Bay Area or anything like that, Thursday tends to be like the happy hour or the events are going on. So pick sort of like a low key day, and then pick 2 weekends during the month to take photos. They don't have to be the whole weekend. It could be a Saturday morning, it could be a Sunday evening. You take photos around your neighborhood, you go to a cool museum, you go to a nice coffee shop. You just take really cool photos to have more photos to post.
And a good place to get work done to write is Impact Hub Oakland,
Yeah.
and you can get a free day pass here, and they always are easy to get to. It's right by the 19th Street BART. Me and Nicole meet here whenever we do our Facebook Lives.
We're here now.
We're here at Impact Hub Oakland now, and you get to meet other people too. So if it's easy for you to work in isolation, that's one thing, but you can also build more clientele if you work in a co-working space.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an option too.
Co-working spaces are amazing, and they have free coffee and
Free
tea.
coffee.
I don't know. I
That's
paid for
always a
coffee.
perk.
I paid for coffee today. Okay, now remember, not all content has to be written. YouTube, Facebook Live can be considered content because those are videos. So do you want to also create videos? So keep that in mind. Now, step 3. Oh, and Rebecca shared our video. Thanks, you, Rebecca.
Thank you.
She is one of my favorite people up in Seattle.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
So step 3 is your calendar. So once you know your topics and who's writing it, you want to now create your calendar. So you might want to print out a calendar, like maybe a Google Calendar, print it out, or just have it online if you need a hard copy or not. Or maybe get one of those old school like calendars that you put up, in your bathroom, and just take that down and actually just write out each day what you're posting and what you're posting on social media. Now, let's say you only create content 3 times a week. I strongly suggest that you
Thanks, Megan.
Oh, Megan should too. Megan, thank you. Okay, you also want to make sure that you are posting consistently on social media. So even if your content's just new 3 times a week, you need to share something with your audience every day. And I'm sorry about that background noise. It's my phone. Okay. So calendar tips.
See, she's popular.
No, it's probably just Twitter.
She has a
and
content
Instagram.
calendar.
It's just Twitter and Instagram probably. Okay, so calendar tips is at least to plan 1 month ahead. So it is January. You should already have your content calendar planned for February of like where you want to go, and schedule the times you will post on social media. So we're going to talk a little bit more about social media in a couple minutes, but you want to schedule times that you know your audience is going to be on social media.
Wellness Wednesday, that's a good one for wellness businesses.
So some writing tips. If a lot of your content is going to be written, you want to create a comfortable space to get some writing down. So either at your home, if you need to do a co-working space, or coffee shops. But because a lot of times you do a lot of writing maybe at home, I would strongly suggest getting a nice cool desk or making one little area of your dining room. It's the Bay Area, so some of us live in really small spaces. So you want to make sure like you have a nice little space that's just meant for your writing. And then also always carry a notebook with you, or if you use Evernote or anything like that, you want to constantly write down ideas as they come to you, even if they're video ideas, so that way you don't forget them and you don't have to sit down right there and then to write it. But especially if you are working a 9-to-5 job, you might like have some great ideas during lunch and then by 5 o'clock you forget them. So you want to make sure you're always writing. Now, before we get into social media, we're going to talk a little bit about platforms. So once you figure out your topics in your calendar and you know what you're going to write, now let's talk a little bit about the technology part. You want to figure out where you're going to post it. So Squarespace, Blogger, Tumblr, WordPress, Weebly. You want to pick the one that's the easiest to you, the easiest for you to access. Make sure that you can access it on your phone, on your tablet, on your laptop. So play around with them, see which ones you like. A lot of them are free and then you have to pay, so you don't have to have that .weebly.com kind of thing, you know?
And I do have a Weebly website, www.hothaholistic.com, and I got that website through Hack the Hood, which is a nonprofit that offers free websites to local businesses, so that's a good resource to have. And I don't know anything about coding, and I'm a little bit of a technophobe, but the Weebly platform makes it very easy, and they have good customer service, so if you ever have questions or anything like that, it's easy to contact them and get your problem solved. So that's good.
Yeah, and I have used Squarespace for small businesses. Also, my magazine was on Squarespace before we moved to WordPress. And so Squarespace is really simple to use. They have beautiful templates. They are very true with their tagline, like sort of keep it clean and beautiful. So, but again, now that we moved to WordPress, I am not a big coder either, so you're going to want to have someone that's a website designer if you start finding yourself having a lot of traction, because WordPress gives you a lot of freedom, but you're going to need to know a little bit of the back end. So if that's just not your forte, tap into your resources. There's going to be someone out there that's willing to help you. I think we're sort of spoiled because we're in the Bay Area, so like every other person knows really how to code. So it's like, I'm like, here, help me. All right, now we're going to talk a little bit about social media. So once you know what you're writing, you know the platform you're using, you have your calendar all set, now it's time to talk about social media. Social media helps you get your message across. But because this just might be you, you know, it's your passion project or your entrepreneur, again, think of the following: your bandwidth, how much can you actually do? And also, like, which social media channels are you great at? Which ones do you just don't want to use? I know a lot of times the older you are, the less you are inclined to use something new like Snapchat or Instagram stories or Periscope or anything like that. Timing, and also your target audience. So when you get a chance, write down the social media channels your audience is currently on. And then write down the social media channels your target audience is on. Those might overlap. They might be the same, and they might be completely different. You might see some of your students all on Facebook, but then when you really nail down to like what type of students you're trying to reach out to, you might find that they're on like Instagram more or Twitter more. So we're going to go into a little bit of facts of major social media channels. And this is just to keep your minds thinking about social media. So when you get a chance, once your content calendar is done and you're looking at social media, they have, and see which of them really are going to have the people that you want. So for Facebook, we're going to dive right into like the big one. Everyone has a Facebook page, like your mom, your dad, your cat. Yeah. Oh, I know. What? Okay, I'm sorry. It's cute if your pet has a Facebook page, but it's also a little weird. Anyways, it's like, why? Anyway, so everyone has a Facebook page, right? So keep that in mind. A lot of people have them. So there are about 40 million active small business pages. Only 2 million of those use advertising. 72% of online U.S. adults visit Facebook at least once a month. And Facebook adds about 500,000 new users every day. So that's 6 new profiles every second.
It's a small country.
Yeah. So, and 47% of Facebook users access the platform through mobile. So if your user, your target audience is going to be on their phone more than on a desktop or a laptop or tablet, you want to make sure that you are on an app, your social media channel, that is mobile. Now, Instagram. So Instagram is growing, you know, they have that wonderful ownership with Facebook. It's starting to become sort of, it used to be people had Facebook and Twitter. Now it seems like more and more people are having Facebook and Instagram and then maybe Twitter. Instagram started out with a lot of like younger millennials, teenagers, and then now older people are trying to use it more and more. We are getting to that age where we're visual. People just like a beautiful photo and then a nice little caption to go with it. So 32% of US teens cite Instagram as their favorite social network. So Instagram, if your target audience is teenagers, younger millennials, by younger millennials, I mean born between like 1990, 1997. So they're still in their early 20s. If that's your main target audience, Instagram is the way to go. They tend to be there more than Facebook. 90% of Instagram users are younger than 35. And then more than 40 billion photos have been shared so far. And also pizza, fun fact, is the most popular Instagram food behind sushi and steak. I have a lot of friends that post food on Instagram.
We're all guilty of it.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love pizza?
I know. Especially if it's a good artisan pizza with like pepperoni and like sausage.
Yeah.
I'm really hungry. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. Cool.
Tips for Instagram.
Okay, so for Instagram, it's really good to use popular hashtags similar to Twitter, but you'll gain more visibility with your brand with popular hashtags. Like I know someone who makes scones, and she also posts Yahoo Food and The Kitchen and other like blogs that focus on food into her hashtags so people can find her scones. Add an IG widget, Instagram widget to your blog or website, and all that. Alongside your website, people can see your feed for Instagram and things like that. So they'll then go to your Instagram page and look at that. Then you should also download there's like tons of really good apps and photos, apps, and you could do beautiful collages with your photos on Instagram. Or if you see something that you like and you want to repost it, download one of the many repost apps. And also study larger brands that offer the same product or service and use their hashtags. Like I said, with the woman with the scone, she goes to Yahoo Food and other hashtags so she can invite more people into her platform. And I met somebody a while ago that had a holistic pet business, and I let her know that she should probably also study PetSmart and some of the other large brands that do services for pets and look at their social media so she can also create her social media similar to that.
Great tips. And I love the repost app because there might be some days where you just don't have an original photo, but there's someone out there that maybe has like a big following. So let's say maybe you are an up and coming like designer, you have handbags or something like along those lines. Well, then you can always repost like a very popular local fashion blogger, their photo. So a little bit about Twitter. So people are still using Twitter. Again, I think a lot of young millennials had Instagram and Twitter. They use it more than Facebook, but now slowly they're using Snapchat more. So there are about 500 million post visits to Twitter each month. 65.8% of US companies with 100 plus employees use Twitter for marketing. So like the big companies are going to be using Twitter. So if you are looking to partner with a big company, they're going to be on Twitter. The average Twitter user has about 208 followers. And of those so there is about a total of 1.3 billion accounts. Only 320 million are active. And of those, 44 made an account and left before ever sending tweets. So there's a lot of accounts out there. So be aware of that. There's a lot of accounts out there, but they might not be as engaged as if they were on Instagram, Facebook, or maybe Snapchat. So just keep that in mind.
And in addition to Twitter, you can also have effective hashtags for more followers. So people are still doing Twitter chats, which is a nice way to get more Twitter followers if that's where you notice the platform is most alive for you. And you can use something called www.twubs.com Twitter chats over the hour. Was acquired by Twitter
as we just mentioned, so Twitter now, you could go live. So you guys were on Facebook Live, there was YouTube, there was Snapchat, now there's Instagram stories. So sort of keep that in mind when you're creating content and doing social media, that we're now in this wave of people want to be live. People want to see videos right then and there. You know, instead of photos, instead of planned videos, they sort of want you right there on the spot. So is that something that you're willing to do? And if so, how?
More visibility, like if someone's scrolling through their news feed or what have you and they see a video is up, they'll probably go click on that quicker than in a picture now.
Yes. So now we're going to talk about Snapchat, and Snapchat was one of those things that I started using like a year ago, and now I love it. I was had to have my 19, she's now 20-year-old sister, thanks so much Sarah, to teach me how to use Snapchat, because I was just like, how do you use this? And I know there's a lot of people out there that are maybe a little bit older. I'm not that old, I'm only 31, but I'm just like,
she looks great, doesn't
I
she?
think it's called makeup. And so I had to learn how to use Snapchat, but I just love it. There's so much great content out there, and you get a lot behind the scenes. So I love watching the New Yorker and the New York Times. You sort of feel more connected to them because you get behind the scenes. So a little bit about Snapchat is, so as you guys know, so Snapchat ads, well, maybe you didn't know, but Snapchat ads are viewed up to 1 million times per day. So now there's those little 5 to 10 second ads in between snaps, right? And there's no way you could really skip through them. So if you want to create an ad, you can. It's a wonderful thing. 60% of all smartphone users are now on Snapchat. Millennials, so remember millennials tend to be in that age group between 1981 to 1997, account for 7 out of the 10 Snapchatters. And then 60% of Snapchat users are between the ages of 18 and 34. And then 60% of Snapchat users are 13 to 24. So if you are trying to get that younger age group, this is where you want to go. And you can just have fun with it. You could just, for example, for the magazine Snapchat channel, every day is something a little bit different. Mondays motivational Mondays, Wednesdays wellness Wednesday, and you can just talk about certain topics in 10 snaps and be done with it.
Yeah, I like to follow businesses on Snapchat too, more than my friends, because I'd rather just meet up with my friends in real life, but to learn about what's going on in their life. But I love food blogs, and there's The Kitchen, KITCHN, it's kitchen without the E in it, and they only post to Snapchat twice a week. So they'll have a breakfast recipe that they'll show in different clips on Monday, and then Friday they have a cocktail, a happy hour cocktail. So those are the only times of the week. So you don't have to be overwhelmed by Snapchat. You can just log onto Snapchat and do I know some makeup artists are okay, at 2 o'clock I'm going to show how to do your eyebrows in a certain way or whatever. So you could be creative about doing how-to videos on Snapchat instead of posting it to YouTube. So you just have another way to explain to people what you're doing and what your offerings are.
Yeah, and who doesn't like those cute little lenses that make you look like a dog? Or
I love their filters.
I know, those are so great. And it's quite easy for you to it's going to cost some money, but if you're able to, if you have an event coming up, so you are throwing a local event, you could go to Snapchat into the community guidelines and sort of create your own filter that people can use for your event in a certain area. So let's say your event is in Oakland, and you want to create a filter for maybe Oakland, San Francisco to maybe the San Jose area. You can. So that's also really cool. I like that a lot. Now a little bit about YouTube. So before Snapchat, before Instagram stories, all this good stuff, when it was just really down to 3 social media channels, Facebook, Twitter, there was YouTube, right? YouTube is still quite popular. People go to YouTube all the time, either to watch their favorite YouTube stars, to either watch how to make a pie, I used YouTube a lot when I was in my MBA program. Because I needed to figure out how to do certain problems, and my instructor did just not explain it correctly, so I had to watch numerous ones. Grad school taught me how to use YouTube, but you can use YouTube for your business as well. All right, so there are about 300 hours of videos are uploaded to YouTube every minute. So YouTube, there's so many videos out there, so if you are going to create a YouTube video, you really want to figure out your messaging with your YouTube video, your audience. Know that YouTube, it takes a little bit longer to gain an audience than Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or anything like that, because people tend to watch 10 videos before they want to subscribe. You know, you get picky like that. There are about 3.25 billion hours of videos watched every month. So people are on there, they're watching their videos. And more than half of YouTube views come from mobile devices. So when people are out on the go, they're watching YouTube on their phone. And now that YouTube has that YouTube Red, you can pay, you can watch YouTube original shows. The only thing with YouTube is I strongly suggest if you're going to go that route and you're going to create videos, let's say that's part of your content. Let's say you write one blog post, like a written blog post a week, and you do a video once a week. So one written, one video. I strongly suggest either getting a really good camera, having a friend that has a really good camera, maybe borrowing it and doing a couple of videos, like, you know, on a Sunday, borrow your friend's camera and do three videos in a row, do some editing and schedule them out. Because, you know, if you're just constantly doing videos on your phone or your laptop, it's not going to have the same quality. And I think when people go to YouTube, they now expect really good quality videos. So, because they're going to be sitting down and watching a video for like 3 to 10 minutes, you know?
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. If you do have a really nice iPhone, there's really good. People make like really nice short films and things like that on the iPhone, so you can do that. But I recently took a film class in San Francisco, and I better understood about lighting and things like that. So I will probably invest in, I use my smartphone now, but I will likely invest in some nicer equipment and buy some just like basic things for lighting, so I can create more high quality videos. Simple reminder with YouTube, make sure your about section is complete, and so you can, when people look at your videos, they can also see, oh, well, here's their website, and this is how I can email them if I want to get in contact with them. And then create a channel trailer, so that can be like a welcome video that says, hi, my name is so-and-so, this is my business. Every Tuesday, you'll expect a how-to video from me. Please subscribe, blah, 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 blah. And then you could add keywords and descriptions similar to hashtags on Twitter and Instagram, and that will guide people to your YouTube page more. And you have the option of activating comments. You don't have to. Sometimes YouTube is a war zone, so you might not want to do that. But if you
Depending
do,
on what kind of video you're posting.
depending on the video, if it's controversial, you'll get a lot of controversial conversations happening.
I love watching people just argue on YouTube comments. It's like, really? This has nothing to do with the video, and you're just having this great argument.
Yeah, it can distract people sometimes.
Yeah, and then to go on with that, like sometimes I do like having the access to say no to certain comments, because sometimes the comments are just like selling you stuff. So on YouTube, you get a lot of times people trying to sell you things, and I just don't post those or respond, because I'm just like I don't want to buy what you're selling.
And so yeah, that's for the comments. And I like Marie Forleo. She's a business consultant, and she has every Tuesday a business informational session, and they're really good, and they're very well produced. Like Nicole was saying, it's very obvious she has a cameraman and she has an editor and all those things, and I think that's what attracts people to her YouTube page, is that she has very high quality video and really good content on her YouTube page. So consider that when you're creating your YouTube page.
Awesome. Now, I know a lot of times when we just finished talking a little bit about social media and we threw a lot of data at you, and you're probably just like, oh my goodness, I don't even want to start this now. But you're going to need social media if you're creating content, because if you just post something on your blog and don't share it, how is the world supposed to know? And then you might as well have not written it or did the video. But we're not asking you guys to every day be on Facebook or be on Twitter and post something right at that moment, because we understand you have a life. We have a life. Everyone has lives. So there are tools that you can use to help schedule things out. So on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, you could schedule out posts on their website. Or you could go and use Hootsuite, Social Sprout, Edward. Emma is a newsletter one that you can use that costs money, and MailChimp are also about newsletters. Those are great tools to use to help schedule out. So for example, on like last night, I was scheduling out on Hootsuite posts that would go out in February. So tweets that I'm thinking I should share in February. So I created my calendar, I wrote out what I was gonna tweet, and then I put it on my Hootsuite, and then it's scheduled out. I don't have to do anything to it. It's fine. I've only had a lot of experience with Hootsuite. Have you had any experience with the other ones?
No, Hootsuite is the one that I use right now. And if you have a Facebook fan page, you can also go to your or business page. You can go there and you can schedule your posts there, so you don't have to be like, oh, I wanted to post this in 2 days. You can have the Facebook posts right in your page scheduled as well.
Yeah, so again, it takes some time. So let's say you have one day that you're writing, you want to make sure like there's a certain time, like block out 2-3 hours a week, or maybe not even that long, and just schedule out your posts. So either in the evening or maybe on like a Sunday morning, figure out like the posts you're gonna have for that upcoming month. So make sure you write them down in a social media calendar, and then you schedule them out. So that way your messaging is consistent, there's not holes in it, and it would just run smoothly. With Hootsuite, it's not an easy transition with Instagram yet. So it's still, you can schedule posts, but a notification is still going to come up on your phone, and then you have to click on it and you have to say like yes. So luckily now with Instagram, you can have 2 accounts. You can have your personal account and your business account. Just make sure that you're on your business account when you're posting the business post. So just keep in mind all that. So just play around with it.
I like MailChimp. I use that for my newsletter, and I've used Constant Contact before also.
Yeah. So newsletter tips.
Okay. So your newsletter is basically, I like to think of it like a garden, and you're tending your garden, because it's just, in addition to social media, it's another way to approach your audience or prospective clients. And if you have a free opt-in gift, so if you offer like a series of videos, or if you offer a free consultation or anything of that nature, that is where you can get people to go and sign up for your newsletter. And so you have Instagram, you have Facebook, you have Twitter, and you can pin your link for people to go to your newsletter. So for me, at the top of my Facebook business page, there's a link for subscribing onto my newsletter. At the top of my Instagram bio, it has a link to sign up for my newsletter. So those are easy peasy ways to get people to join you. And then I'm offering free consultations for wellness businesses this month for 30 minutes free. And so there's my plug for that. And then your newsletter is just keeping people abreast of what you're doing, but you also get to invest in building more clients. Or if you have a workshop or if you have an event coming up, your newsletter is like this exclusive location where people can learn about that. You might have like special VIP offers, or you might have special flash sales that are only announced on your newsletter, and you can let people know that, so people will be more eager to sign up for your newsletter. And always have great content. So if you have a blog, if you're on WordPress, or if you're on Blogger or the other blogs that we mentioned before, you can have snippets of your blog in your newsletter, and then that will guide people back to your blog or your website. And also, if you have events, if you have free events, or if you just have like workshops, make sure to get as many emails as you can, and that way you can just have people sign up for your newsletter there. Because if you hand out your business card and you're like, sign up for my newsletter, chances are people aren't going to go home or get on their phone and do it. So just make it easy for people.
And the great thing about newsletters is email marketing is still one of the most powerful marketing tools you can use, because people are always checking their email. You know it's going to go in there. They might not always open it, but you know it's hitting them. So how I like to view it is you create your content, you have your wonderful website, your wonderful blog. Social media is a great way to outreach, like throw sort of like a wide net, like, you know, when you're like fishing, it's like a wide net, right? And you're just getting all these new people. And then your newsletter is sort of like the very specific group that has shown interest enough to sign up for your newsletter and maybe have attended an event, or really are a big fan of your social media, and they're getting like more details of like what's going on. So they're not getting the full-on website experience, but they're getting more details than they will if they just visit your social media channels. And also you get to sort of do a nice little, after you have so many people sign up, see who actually is your target audience, who is signing up for your newsletter. You know, your Facebook might say you have a lot of people 18 to 24, but in your newsletter you realize you're getting a lot of people like 35 to 40. So maybe that is that might be your main group of people that are actually buying your products. So it's I like newsletters. I need to start doing one, but
I stopped for a while and I started again over the summer, and it feels good to give information to people every month. And all of these platforms, including the newsletters, they have analytics, so you know how often people are opening your newsletter, who's opening it, and you know, you get an insight more into like how you're promoting yourself.
Yeah, and with analytics as well, you could do, if you have a Google, so you can sign up for a Google business account. So you can have your email address be like, you know, Nicole@thebusinessname.com. And with that, you can also get analytics, and it's free. I mean, you do have to pay for your business account, but the analytics comes with it. And you could put the coding into your website. And so that way you could get not only, for example, I was getting like Squarespace analytics, but I was also getting Google Analytics to start comparing, and you can just really see which pages people are clicking on, and then when they're coming, and all that good stuff. So some other tools to think about, especially when it comes to photos, because again, we said think people are visual, is Canva, which is Canva, is a wonderful tool to use to create those like beautiful like social media, like, you know, those nice little like pictures of like people with cute sayings and things like that, and it looks so beautiful. You could find that all there. They have so many beautiful templates. It's free. I love it. Like most of the templates are free. And you can pay for like the little ones, but it's beautiful, clean images. And so I strongly suggest you check it out. It's Canva.com. And then Pixie, how do you pronounce this? Sorry.
I haven't used that one.
Yeah, Pixabay or Pixabay. One of my friends told me about it, and it's a really cool website if you're looking for a specific photo. So if you're just looking for a photo, for example, like playgrounds, right? So you go to this website, it's Pixaby, and you click playgrounds, and you find some really cool ones. You can download them. They're free. You don't have to attribute them to anyone, so it's a little bit safer legally than Google Photos. And then Photoshop. If you do have access to Photoshop and you want to create some really cool images, I think it's just always really good to add some more skills to your skill set. So practicing using Photoshop, especially if you are doing a lot of things that have some really great photos. So either you're a photographer or you're doing anything with fitness or anything with food, it would be cool just to practice your Photoshop skills if you're able to have Photoshop on your laptop, if you have access to it.
I think those are all awesome, and then I actually got to learn a certain software on lynda.com. So, there's YouTube videos for sure, like Nicole was saying, for grad school. But if you go to lynda.com, I think they have like a 2-week free subscription, and you can look up any software, any of these platforms that we said throughout the live video today, and there are really good instructional videos on lynda.com to show you how to work with different platforms. So that's another resource if you need that as well.
Yeah, and then sometimes I think companies, I know for a while my husband's company, I think they were giving like free like a month or so many months of lynda.com. So always like see what your company's offering you for free. That's always great. Again, I think because we live in the Bay Area, all these tech companies are always trying to, you know, give you stuff for free, which is great. So just to recap, and my phone, I swear, I need to put it on silent. I'm sorry, guys. So to recap, this whole content creation, social media, all these tools you can use. So again, you want to plan ahead. You want to think of your holidays, the bandwidth, what you want to talk about. You want to create your calendar, the topics you want to write about, how often you're going to write, and who's going to write it, and who's going to edit it. So I strongly suggest you just print out a calendar and you write the days you want to post. And then you want to create a social media calendar, because let's say you only post content twice a week. Well, you have to be consistent with your social media. So how often, what times you're going to post on social media, what you're going to be posting, finding the time to schedule those posts ahead so you're not doing something every day. You don't want, you might be really busy, especially if you're working a 9-to-5 job. On like a Tuesday and you're running around with so many meetings, you don't want to beat yourself up because you didn't have time to post something on your personal on your passion project business Facebook account. So you want to schedule that ahead. And then when you're looking at social media, figure out the social media channels that your audience is going to be on and the social media channels that you feel comfortable being on, and all these other tools that you can use. And I think that's it.
Yeah, and thank you so much for joining us. And for people who aren't listening to us live, how can you get in touch with us? Nicole, how can people get in touch with you?
So you guys can email me or message me, and you know what? I think we will put in the description our email addresses and things like that of how you guys can get in contact with us. So if you have any other questions about content planning, social media, if you just want to have a quick conversation, feel free to reach out to me.
Yeah, and I'll be doing 30-minute free consultations all through January, so I'm happy to work with you in that way. And Happy New Year. We hope you have some great marketing information now for your businesses, and we wish you all the success.
Yes, thank you. And thank you again so much for joining us. So Happy New Year's again. And you might see us pairing up again. So thank you. And let us and let us know if there was a certain topic or a certain social media channel you guys really want us to dive into, so maybe that could be like our next video that we do.
For sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye,
Take
guys.
care.